Hello and welcome to Instalot. I usually only talk about cases that are not so current because privately I'm just very interested in them, and that's why I do a lot of research. But this case has only recently been published, a girl from Germany who suddenly wanted to become a serial killer overnight. But let's start at the beginning. And I did my best with the translation. Sarah M. wanted to kill one and then a few others. The 19-year-old had announced the murder plans on her blind date to her friend via WhatsApp. But she didn't take the statement seriously. Shortly before the deadly knife attack on a 39-year-old man from Nürnberg, the accused's best friend received a voice message. She will go out and kill one and then a few others. She should wish her luck. In the message, she also described her specific plan for killing her victim. She would tell him, "I have a surprise for you. Close your eyes." Then the knife would come out. The accused wrote in a WhatsApp chat that she had learned that the biggest serial killer committed 250 murders. You have to do that first. In any case, she goes out now to the NBK, which stands for Natural Born Killer. That means murder. However, her friend did not take the threat seriously and did not inform the police. How are you going to do that without going to jail? She also searches the internet for information on whether you can be punished if you know about an attempted murder but do nothing about it. This inaction could now be her downfall in court. Sarah M. studied murder cases for months, but instead of being horrified, she was fascinated and adamant that she would enjoy the killing. According to the findings so far, the young woman from the Pforzheim district only knew victims via an online chat. When they first met, she lured him to a dirt road near Gesseldorf by promising to spend the night with him. There she is said to have slit the jugular vein of the 39-year-old from Nuremberg. It seems like she picked him completely at random. The 19-year-old is said to have had several chat partners. With the victim, it probably worked out first with a meeting. Although the accused remained silent on the first day of the trial, the letters she wrote from prison speak against her. In it, she not only calls her act murder herself, but also repeatedly asks for pictures for the US serial killer Richard Ramirez. In the mid-1980s, he brutally murdered dozens of people in the Los Angeles and San Francisco area. According to senior public prosecutor Michael Hoffman, the motive for their cruel act is admiration for the famous murderer. "He was my one and only, I love Richard," she wrote in one of the letters. The letters from the defendants also allow conclusions to be drawn about the young woman's traumatic past. There is talk of bullying, abuse and drugs. She also tells of a rape by her former partner. But in none of the letters is there a word about her victim and the murder. By the less seriously smoking and giggling sex-date killer Sarah M., 19 years old, on the first day of the trial, the judge is now taking a much tougher course. On Tuesday, the redhead appeared with anklets and her hands tied to her belt district cut of Bamberg. She herself put a matching chain around her neck. When her defense attorney asked for the handcuffs to be removed, Judge Manfred Schmidt first asked the demonstrators. She must have been searched to make sure that she didn't take anything. But even then, he only approved the unlashing of the right hand. In her first detailed statement after the knife attack on her dating partner, Zayed E., 39 years old as he died, on May 1, 2021, Sarah M. said in the Bamberg clinic, "I think it's a shame that I only have to go to prison for attempted murder, because I have a lot more planned." The officer assigned to guard Lisa B. reacted in shock. About Sarah M., she further explained, She said that she had written to several men on dating platforms and gradually wanted to meet with them to kill them by cutting their throats. The murder of Syed E had only failed because he was stronger than she was. The 39-year-old died 19 days later at the University Hospital in Erlangen. Witness remembers fear of death in his eyes. The victim only met the girl from Franconia, Switzerland on the day of the crime and the chat on the Bild dating platform. In the evening, he picked her up at home in his Ford Fiesta and was then directed by her onto a dark bike path. There, Sarah M. attacked Syed E. with an awkward camping knife. She bought the knife in a hardware store 5 days earlier at a special price of €11.95. Witness Florian Ü was the first to arrive at the crime scene. It dizzily slightly on the B470. Suddenly, a man stepped out onto the street from the left. The whole side was bloodstained. What stuck most impressively was the fear of death in his eyes. He immediately dialed 110. "A man is dying, a man is dying, right now," was heard on the recording plate in Kurt. Just 30 minutes later, Stephanie G. alerted the police in Nürnberger. "There's a girl with torn pantyhose, no shoes and blood on her cheek walking down the street." M asked if she needed help, but she replied, "No, I'm a shitty murderer." Later, when she was arrested, she was led past her with a grin. She went, "Ooh, that was really provocative," said Stephanie G. on Tuesday. Sarah M. faced the officers at the station coldly and completely emotionless. "The girl was completely soaked in front of us. We asked what happened, and she said completely emotionless that she had just tried to kill someone. She was asked if that was her boyfriend, if the man wanted to hurt her. Her answer, according to Chief Inspector, no, she just wanted to cut his throat. She wanted to see a person die." The Bamberg judges speak of rarely seen emotional coldness in the case of Sarah M. and affirm the particular severity of the guilt. The youth chamber sentences Sarah M., who is now 19, to a youth sentence of 12 years for murder. With the sentence, the court stayed only slightly below the request of senior public prosecutor Michael Hoffman, who had asked for 12 years and 6 months. Defender Thomas Dreesen had applied for a youth sentence of 8 years. At the same time, the court determined the particular gravity of the guilt. The judges thus created the conditions for the sentence to go beyond the maximum limit of 10 years applicable in juvenile criminal law. This is also necessary in order to do justice to the particular gravity of the crime, said presiding Judge Manfred Smith. He certified that the convict had planned her crime for days. In addition to the cold-blooded approach, there is a complete lack of empathy for the victim. Shortly before the fateful sting, she had researched in English on the internet where to stab the neck if you wanted to kill a person and how long it would take to die. Judge Smith explained that it was extremely rare for a perpetrator to kill someone out of a lust for murder. Sarah M. realized the murder characteristic of insidiousness because her victim was unsuspecting and defenseless. What do you think about it? I did my best with the translation and thank you for listening.